One of the most gruesome cases of sadistic torture we've ever covered, the case of Junko Furuta. Japan, 1988. 17-year-old Junko is rubbing her bruised knee. She's laying kind of awkwardly in a ditch on the side of the road. Her bike is practically on top of her at this point. It's 8:30 p.m. It's not the most optimal time to get injured alone. Junko looks up. She's frustrated. She was riding her bike home from her part-time job when this random 15-year-old boy comes up to her out of nowhere, completely unprovoked, and kicks the side of her bike. She and her bike go flying off the road into this ditch, and now she's rubbing her slightly bloody knees. She's dusting the dirt off her legs when this figure walks up to her. Another boy, maybe a little older, perhaps 18. He offers to help her up. That guy is famous around here, the one that kicked you. He's a pervert. He once threatened me with a knife, you know? Come on, let's get you up. I can escort you home if you'd like. I'm sure he's still somewhere around here. It's a split-second decision. Do you risk being alone and vulnerable to the bike-kicking pervert to come back and get you? Or do you take the helping hand, hoping it's someone safer? The possibility that the two of them planned for this to happen probably does not cross your mind.
Oh, it was pre-planned?
Pre-planned. They're friends. As Junko and the helping hand are walking towards her house, they pass by one of those abandoned warehouses, and suddenly this guy's attitude completely switches. You know, I'm a Yakuza member, right? It's like the mafia, but in Japan. This is our whole thing. We kill you by faking an accident, we hit you with a car, but I can forgive you if you offer yourself to me. He drags Junko into the abandoned warehouse and essays her. But when he's done, he is sitting next to her. She's very panicked, and he tries to convince her, actually, there's more. The Yakuza still wants to kill you, but because you look kind of like my girlfriend, I feel a little bit of sympathy for you. I want to let you live. I can talk to my superiors and ask them not to kill you, but you have to stay with me for maybe the weekend. He leaves to call two of his friends, and he tells them, I've captured a woman. Do you guys want to eat together? That night, him and his three friends would take turns gang essaying her, and they would invite more friends over, and soon the torture would begin. They would make fun of her. It was estimated that Junko was essayed by at least 100 different men during her 44 days in captivity. The sexual torture would only escalate in the next few weeks. It's almost like her captors and the other friends who would be invited over were playing this game of who can be more sick, who can be more twisted. Within a few weeks, they start essaying Junko with other objects. They initially start with random objects that they could find to get their hands on, but eventually they start intentionally looking for objects that would cause the most damage. They begin to torture Junko by inserting sharp scissors, metal rods, metal skewers that you use to grill meat on, glass beverage bottles into her private parts to essay her. At one point, they placed a hot light bulb into her private region and roughly moved it around until it shattered inside of her. Junko would be essayed so regularly and so brutally that her internal organs were, quote, mangled by the end of the 44 days.